The scene flashes forward to a desolate world 10 years after an outbreak, where a monstrous boss dominates the battlefield. A 7th-level warrior named Yang Fan intercepts the beast's attack, desperately telling his companion Qing Shui to flee. The monster's sheer power proves too much, sending the warrior flying backward from the impact. Towering over the fallen man, the creature raises its weapon to deliver the final blow. In a desperate move, Qing Shui rushes forward, placing herself between Yang Fan and the impending attack. She takes the full force of the devastating strike, sacrificing herself to save him. Yang Fan's expression twists in horror and disbelief as he comprehends her ultimate sacrifice. He holds her limp body, overcome with a grief that consumes the battlefield. His sorrow quickly turns to a burning rage as he grabs a weapon, his eyes fixed on the creature. Fueled by pure vengeance, he unleashes a furious cry and charges the beast. He leaps into the air, his blade a blur of motion as he cuts the monster down. After the battle, he reaches for a glowing crystal, the creature's very essence. His focus shifts entirely to Qing Shui, vowing to find a legendary cure for her. Carrying her on his back, he arrives at the fortified walls of Tianlin Base No. 3. He enters a room only to be stopped dead by a shocking scene of betrayal. His own girlfriend, Cloud, is in the arms of the base's captain, Xiaowei. The two are stunned to see him alive, with the captain casually mentioning the Tier 8 boss. Yang Fan immediately latches onto that detail, demanding to know how he had such specific information. His interrogation is cut short as Qing Shui cries out in pain, her condition worsening by the second. Yang Fan ignores the betrayal for a moment, urgently demanding the captain give him a cure for Qing Shui. The captain scoffs at the request, callously dismissing the value of Qing Shui's life compared to the expensive item. Desperate, Yang Fan offers to make a trade, his eyes blazing with determination. He presents a priceless, glowing ring, claiming it holds the key to immense power and fortune. Xiaowei accepts the ring but reveals his true colors, stating he'd rather just take it after Yang Fan is dead. He turns his back with a smug flourish, leaving Qing Shui to her fate as Cloud watches silently. Yang Fan's expression hardens, his fury reaching its absolute peak. He carefully sets his dying companion down, his hand already gripping his weapon. Fueled by righteous anger, he charges forward, swinging his sword with lethal intent. But the captain easily dodges, leaping into the air surrounded by a sinister purple energy. The captain counters with a blast of dark energy, sending Yang Fan flying across the room. Xiaowei looms over the injured warrior, smugly pointing out the futility of his resistance. Defeated but not broken, Yang Fan's gaze falls upon the glowing ring, a final gambit forming in his mind. Just as the captain reaches for his prize, Yang Fan snatches it away with a defiant glare. In a desperate all-or-nothing move, he swallows the priceless artifact whole. The captain just smirks, completely unfazed and amused by this futile act of defiance. With chilling cruelty, Xiaowei makes a final, decisive move to retrieve the ring from within him. But inside Yang Fan, the ring unleashes a swirling vortex of unimaginable golden power. A blinding light erupts from his body, throwing the stunned traitors backward in disbelief. The world dissolves into a brilliant flash as the ring's ultimate ability activates, a total rewind of time itself. Yang Fan's eyes snap open, filled with utter disbelief as his world violently shifts. He jolts upright in a familiar bed, a clock showing he's 3 hours before the apocalypse began. Pinching his own cheek, the sharp sting confirms this isn't a dream. He's somehow back. The stunning realization hits him. The ring didn't just save him, it sent him back in time. His gaze falls upon his girlfriend, Cloud, sleeping soundly next to him, completely unaware of her future betrayal. He contemplates his sleeping girlfriend, torn between the memory of her treachery and the strange gratitude for this second chance. Clenching his fist, he remembers that her betrayal was the catalyst for everything, including his return. Now armed with knowledge of the future, he makes a silent vow to protect everyone he lost. His eyes burn with cold fury as he promises that this time his enemies will not be forgiven. His moment of reflection is shattered as the door bursts open, an unwelcome visitor demanding his attention. 2 thugs storm into the room, one armed with a bat and a grudge. They're here for revenge, claiming Cloud rejected their boss for Yang Fan. While Cloud feigns terror, Yang Fan sees her deception, remembering this exact moment from his past. The lead thug swings the bat, aiming to make an example out of him. But Yang Fan, now a seasoned warrior, effortlessly sidesteps the clumsy attack. He calmly faces his attacker, a chilling premonition in his voice. With lightning speed, he seizes the man's head, his grip like iron. He demonstrates his newfound power with a devastating slam, neutralizing the threat instantly. Both Cloud and the second thug are frozen in disbelief at his incredible strength. Yang Fan's icy stare locks onto the last man standing, his intentions perfectly clear. He recalls how this encounter weakened him in his past life and unleashes his pent-up fury on the thug. Yang Fan coldly leaves the man to his fate, having delivered a permanent lesson. He ignores Cloud's desperate pleas as she tries to remind him of their intimacy. With a final, chilling glare, he severs all ties with her and delivers a grim warning for the future. She grips the bedsheets in a silent rage, her manipulation having failed completely. As he walks out without a second glance, Cloud is left fuming at his audacity and sudden rejection. Stepping outside, he immediately recognizes the ominous dark seeds falling from the sky, heralding the apocalypse. A look of grim realization crosses his face. He knows the catastrophic eruption is imminent. His first instinct is to protect the one who matters most, immediately trying to call Qingshui. The call reaches his sister, Yang Qingshui, who is completely unaware of the impending danger. Qingshui answers the call with a playful tease, completely unaware of the unfolding disaster. Yang Fan cuts straight to the point, his voice filled with urgency as he orders her to secure the room. He gives her a final, desperate instruction to trust no one, promising to explain everything later. She dismisses his panic, assuring him she's perfectly safe in her university dorm. Her casual glance outside turns to horror as she witnesses the first signs of the outbreak unfolding below. The line suddenly goes dead, cutting off her panicked observations and leaving Yang Fan in stunned silence. His frustration mounts as he realizes the communication network has already collapsed. He quickly regains his composure, remembering from his past life that she survives this initial chaos. His attention is drawn to the glowing ring on his finger, which has just activated in response to a nearby presence. A confident smirk spreads across his face as he realizes this is a golden opportunity sent from the heavens. The glowing ring guides him to an unassuming location, the women's bathroom. He trusts the artifact, knowing it has detected a significant energy source just beyond the door. Cautiously entering, he finds the room in disarray and a figure lying on the floor. The source of the disturbance reveals itself, a woman turned into a ravenous creature with glowing red eyes. It lunges at him with feral intensity, but Yang Fan's battle-hardened instincts keep him calm. With cold determination, he shatters the glass of a nearby emergency cabinet. He swiftly arms himself with a fire axe, preparing to face the monster head-on. Yang Fan unleashes a powerful swing, knowing that these creatures only have value once they're defeated. He kneels to extract the energy stone, focused on leveling up to protect his family. Before he can claim his reward, a mysterious gray-robed traitor appears in a flash of light. He smirks, realizing he's already months ahead of his previous timeline by finding the traitor so quickly. He recalls the mysterious traitors who appeared after the outbreak, their ranks distinguished by the color of their robes. The lowest-ranked gray traitor materializes before him, ready to do business. He knows the process well. Simply holding an energy stone activates the traitor's holographic shop interface. He browses the available items, pleased to see his ring still grants him a significant discount on everything. While checking out the weapons, he wonders if the ring's weekly item upgrade feature is also active. Deciding to test his theory, he focuses his intent on the ring, attempting to activate its special function. The shop interface flickers, and a random item card is selected and begins to transform, catching him off guard. To his astonishment, the system upgrades a basic item into an incredibly rare epic-grade artisan card. With the transaction complete, the traitor vanishes, leaving Yang Fan alone with his new prize in the aftermath of his first battle. Yang Fan realizes his current resources aren't enough. He needs more power, and he needs it now. His strategic planning is cut short by a sudden scream from an adjacent room. Inside, a terrified woman armed with a small knife faces off against a newly turned creature. Her companion, a fiery redhead, tries to take the weapon, ready to fight back herself. The redhead glares defiantly at the creature, showing no fear in the face of danger. Before she can act, Yang Fan bursts in, neutralizing the monster with a single, decisive blow. While one woman panics, the other quickly understands the situation, realizing he just saved their lives from the undead threat. The brave redhead introduces herself as Yue and her friend as Mumu, thanking their mysterious savior. A flicker of recognition crosses Yang Fan's face. He knows exactly who these two women are. He recalls their future selves, Yue, the legendary sharpshooter, and Mumu, the brilliant biochemist of the Bloody Rose base. Just as he's processing his memories, another creature lunges at him from behind. With a swift, practiced motion, he throws his axe and brings the new threat down instantly. The women are stunned by his speed, but their relief is short-lived as the creature begins to stir again. Yang Fan calmly explains that a simple body blow won't be enough to stop these monsters. He demonstrates the proper technique, delivering a final, decisive strike to the creature's head. While Yue questions his methods, Yang Fan is lost in thought, remembering the legendary warriors these two will become. He pictures their future selves: Yue, a deadly sharpshooter, and Mumu, a biologist who can command monsters. He recalls how their team, Bloody Rose, turned base number 3 into an impenetrable fortress. A flicker of memory reminds him he even fought alongside them once, never expecting to meet them so early. Snapping back to the present, he holds up the glowing energy stone, catching Yue's attention. Yue immediately questions him about the silver crystal, intrigued by its origin. She reveals that Mumu was the one who discovered the strange object while examining the fallen creature. Mumu becomes flustered under the sudden attention, stammering that she was merely conducting research. Seeing his strength, Yue wastes no time proposing an alliance, a move that surprises Yang Fan given her future reputation. After Mumu gives her approval, Yang Fan internally agrees, knowing their skills are crucial for his future plans. With their new partnership formed, he points out their impractical attire, suggesting they all get ready for a fight. The women agree but playfully ask for some privacy, telling him to wait outside while they change. He smirks and accepts, deciding to use the time to hunt for more monsters and gather resources. Before he leaves, Yue stops him with a serious question about the source of the outbreak in the building. Now dressed for battle, the women consider their next move, debating whether to hide or face the chaos outside. Yang Fan shatters their hope for safety, explaining that the creatures are everywhere and constantly evolving. Yue's mind immediately races, wondering if this means humans can also evolve and gain power. Before they can act, a practical suggestion is made to scout the area for immediate threats. He lays out his non-negotiable terms: absolute obedience, surrendering all crystals, and a fatal penalty for betrayal. Mumu whispers to Yue, theorizing that Yang Fan's incredible strength must mean he's already evolved. After a moment of consideration, Yue accepts his conditions, and Yang Fan confidently leads the way. They step outside to find the school grounds completely overrun by a horde of the undead. Faced with the overwhelming number of creatures, Mumu questions how they can possibly navigate the chaos. Yang Fan dismisses her fears with a smirk, telling them to stop asking questions and just focus on collecting crystals. As a particularly menacing creature approaches, Yue questions if he seriously plans to fight the entire horde alone. Unfazed by the creature's roar, Yang Fan readies his axe for a decisive strike. He effortlessly splits the monster in two, demonstrating his overwhelming power. As the creature falls, a glowing crystal clatters to the ground, catching Mumu's eye. The curious biochemist immediately moves to retrieve the strange object for closer inspection. Mumu hypothesizes that the crystal is a condensed life force and possibly the source of the infection. Yu questions the danger of the crystal, and Mumu admits it could theoretically be contagious. Meanwhile, Yue watches Yang Fan carve through the horde below, questioning his motive for collecting so many crystals. The women are so impressed by his combat prowess that they barely notice another monster closing in. Their observation is cut short by the sudden screech of a car pulling up beside them. A man steps out, addressing Yue by her full name and remarking that their reunion must be fate. The man introduces himself as Mu Tian, a wealthy heir and Yue's persistent suitor, offering a condescending rescue. Hui is thoroughly unimpressed by his arrival, clearly despising the man. Yang Fan cuts their reunion short, slicing through a nearby creature without a word. Wu explains to Yang Fan that the arrogant newcomer is a well-known nuisance at their school. Mu Tian sizes up Yang Fan's skills and arrogantly offers him a job as a bodyguard. To prove his wealth, he dangles a check in front of Yang Fan, promising a fortune for his loyalty. The offer sparks an idea in Yang Fan's mind, reminding him how crucial money will be for survival in the future. Their conversation is interrupted as more creatures swarm the area, sending Mumu into a panic. Yang Fan takes charge, warning that they've drawn too much attention and orders everyone to move out. As the group fights their way out, Mu Tian is left behind, shouting in fury that they dared to ignore him. The group stops short, sensing a new and unsettling presence in the night. Mu Tian, meanwhile, throws a tantrum because even the undead find him too insignificant to notice. Back with the main group, the horde closes in, trapping them in a sea of monsters. Yang Fan's focus sharpens as he senses a powerful, unnatural energy emanating from a nearby plant. He's stunned to discover a second-tier mutant has already evolved, growing at a rate that surpasses even his own. Mumu's scientific mind whirls, questioning if the infection can even cross into the plant kingdom. The source reveals itself as a monstrous flower, spreading a sinister red pollen throughout the area. Under its influence, the entire horde's eyes glow red as they fall under the plant's control. Yang Fan instantly recognizes the danger, warning that the mutant can now command the lesser creatures. Without hesitation, he leaps into the fray, cutting a path through the newly coordinated undead army. Yang Fan takes the lead, confidently carving a path through the slower creatures for the women to follow. Mumu freezes in terror as one of the undead lunges forward, its hand outstretched to grab her. Yu springs into action, delivering a powerful kick to intercept the creature attacking from behind. Yang Fan smirks with approval, recognizing the raw fighting spirit of a future Bloody Rose member as he continues his own assault. Suddenly, the roar of an engine cuts through the chaos as a sports car barrels onto the scene. Behind the wheel, Mu Tian confidently announces his arrival, ready to play the hero for Yue. He recklessly plows through the horde, using his expensive car as a battering ram before crashing into a building. After scrambling out, his first move is to secure the glass doors, locking himself safely inside. Yue and Mumu watch in disbelief as Mu Tian abandons them to the approaching swarm of monsters. As Yue furiously pounds on the glass, he offers a sickening deal, promising her safety in exchange for her submission. Yue unleashes her fury on Mu Tian, who smugly justifies his cowardice as a twisted form of rescue. With the entrance now blocked, the relentless horde closes in, trapping the group outside. As the women look on helplessly, Yang Fan holds the line, single-handedly fending off the swarm. Thinking fast, he shouts a new escape route, directing them toward a back door near the cafeteria. He carves a path through the undead, telling the women to watch themselves as he buys them time. Realizing they're hopelessly outnumbered, he changes tactics, deciding to target the mutant flower controlling the horde. With renewed purpose, he shoves his way through the sea of monsters, heading for the primary threat. He's shocked to discover the plant has already reached the second tier, evolving far faster than he anticipated. In a daring move, he leaps over the grasping hands of the undead, making a direct beeline for the mutant plant. He raises a blade high above the creature's core, gambling everything on a single decisive strike. He brings his weapon down with immense force, hoping to end the fight in one blow. But his blade only sparks against the mutant's surprisingly tough exterior, failing to pierce it. He's stunned to realize his attack barely scratched the surface of the Tier 2 creature. The plant retaliates, spewing a cloud of infectious pollen as he wonders if his return has altered the timeline. The red spores instantly infect the surrounding horde, turning them into frenzied, controlled puppets. He finds himself overwhelmed as the newly coordinated undead begin to swarm him with tactical precision. Caught off guard by their teamwork, a clawed creature lunges at him from his blind spot. His battle instincts take over, allowing him to neutralize the immediate threat with a swift counter. Just as he's surrounded, two figures unexpectedly appear, standing over the monstrous plant. Yue and Mumu have returned, armed and ready to fight, refusing to leave him to face the danger alone. A confident smirk crosses his face as he realizes he's already allied with two future legends. His focus shifts to Yue as he notices a fresh wound on her arm, asking about her condition. She brushes off the injury, insisting their priority is to destroy the mutant plant controlling the horde. Mumu nervously proposes a plan, suggesting they use the gasoline she's carrying to burn the creature. Yue immediately steps up to defend them, ready to hold off the closing swarm while they prepare. Without wasting a second, Yang Fan douses the monstrous plant with the flammable liquid. He then flicks a lit lighter, sending it spinning through the air toward their target. The plant goes up in a massive inferno, and he reflects on how fortunate they were to face only a Tier 2 threat. But the battle isn't over, as the burning plant releases a strange, floating red pollen into the air. He quickly warns his companions to hold their breath, realizing the pollen can induce sleep, even affecting the undead. Mu Tian finally arrives on the scene, stepping over the sleeping horde as he calls out for Yue. He's stunned by the sheer number of neutralized creatures, wondering how the others managed to survive. His attention is drawn to the massive, charred remains of the mutant flower at the center of the chaos. Spotting a single unburnt petal, his curiosity gets the better of him as he reaches down to inspect it. The petal suddenly springs to life, its sharp tendril piercing his hand in a flash. A look of pure shock crosses his face as the plant's potent infection begins to course through his veins. Meanwhile, Yui suddenly stumbles, telling Yang Fan she feels dizzy and can no longer run. He immediately recognizes the signs of infection from her wound, and she begs him to end it before she turns. He reassures her there's still a chance, effortlessly hoisting her onto his back to carry her to safety. With Yue's life on the line, he realizes he must return to the women's bathroom to level up and purify the infection. With Mumu leading the way, Yang Fan carries the fading Yue on his back, racing against time and the pursuing horde. He bursts into the women's bathhouse, the only place he knows he can find what he needs to save her. As Yue's condition worsens, Mumu panics, but Yangfan's attention is already on the mysterious trader waiting in the corner. He calmly sets Yue down and demands all their collected crystals, assuring a tearful Mumu that this is the only way. Even in her weakened state, Yue spots the strange robed figure, while Yangfan confirms he has just enough currency for his plan. Yangfan confidently opens the trade interface, ready to do business with the otherworldly merchant. The women can only watch in shock as the mysterious trader vanishes without a trace. While Mumu questions the disappearance, Yue's hope fades, fearing he's abandoned her to a terrible fate. Inside the trader's pocket dimension, Yangfan scoffs at the outrageous prices, knowing his ring is his only advantage. He quickly uses his discount to purchase a life-saving evolution potion and a bottle of water, finalizing the critical transaction. The trader presents the life-saving items, confirming the transaction left Yangfan with plenty of crystals to spare. He immediately consumes the evolution potion, kickstarting his journey to immense power. His eyes harden as he recalls his past failures, determined not to repeat the same mistakes. A surge of energy marks his first level up, fueling his vow to protect his loved ones at all costs. He secretly infuses the water with the ring's purifying power, deciding to keep its true abilities hidden for now. Stepping back into the room, he finds Mumu frantic with worry over Yue's unconscious form. The infection is visibly spreading across Yue's arm, a terrifying sign that her transformation is imminent. He attempts to give her the purified water, but her clenched jaw makes it impossible. With no other choice, he leans in to administer the cure directly, hoping it will be enough. Mumu can only watch in stunned silence, completely shocked by his unconventional methods. The purified water works instantly, causing the dark veins of the infection to recede from Yue's arm. Her eyes flutter open as she slowly regains consciousness, confused by her proximity to Yangfan. Startled by the situation, she immediately shoves him away to create some distance. She questions his methods, and he nonchalantly explains it was the only way to save her while she was unconscious. Mumu rushes to her side in a tearful embrace, overjoyed that her friend didn't turn into one of the creatures. Yue's focus returns to Yangfan, demanding to know how he reappeared after vanishing into thin air. He calmly reveals the existence of the mysterious traders, explaining they are a key feature of the future apocalypse. Realizing the cost of her cure, Yue feels indebted and promises to repay him with future spoils. Yangfan dismisses her concerns, impatiently urging them to move on, as time is a luxury they can't afford. The chapter concludes, marking the end of one crisis and the beginning of their new, uncertain journey. Yangfan sees the field of unconscious creatures as a golden opportunity to harvest more crystals. Their plans are cut short by the sudden appearance of an unexpected and unwelcome figure. It's Mutian, now transformed into a ravenous creature with glowing red eyes. Sensing this new threat is different, Yangfan steps forward to shield the women from the attack. Suddenly, a massive red tendril erupts from the ground, lashing out with deadly intent. The vine whips back with incredible force, and Yue instinctively pushes Yangfan out of its path. Mumu quickly deduces that the plant has a limited range, urging them to back away to safety. But her theory is shattered as both Yangfan and Yue watch the situation escalate in horror. The tendrils move with impossible speed, completely ensnaring Mumu before she has a chance to escape. He realizes this isn't a new monster, but a vengeful spore from the Tier 2 flower they just burned. Yangfan leaps into action, his axe glowing with power as he intercepts the monstrous vine. He orders a weakened Yue to find cover, frustrated by her slowing them down. The creature retaliates, firing a concentrated blast of poisonous pollen directly at them. He instantly recognizes the danger, shouting a desperate warning to hold their breath. The pollen explodes on impact, blinding him and sending him stumbling backward. Before he can recover, another tendril whips through the air, aiming for a fatal blow. Just in the nick of time, the mysterious ring on his finger begins to glow with a protective light. A surge of pure energy erupts from the artifact, creating a barrier against the toxic assault. He realizes with immense relief that the ring's purifying ability has saved him from a certain end. His relief quickly turns to cold fury as he glares at the creature that nearly took him down. Fueled by the ring's power, he unleashes a devastating strike that severs the creature's tendril. The severed vine reveals 2 glowing crystal cores, an unexpected prize from the battle. He kneels to collect the valuable items, his silhouette framed against the ruined city. Yu questions the discovery, and he explains it's the Tier 2 flower's core, which it hadn't absorbed yet. He reveals the harsh reality of this new world. Mutants devour each other to evolve and grow stronger. From the remains of the defeated creature, a strange, fruit-like plant suddenly sprouts from the ground. Mumu spots the new growth from above and shouts a warning, thinking the spore is regenerating. Yang Fan clarifies that it's the flower's essence, a rare material, piquing Yue's curiosity about its purpose. He offers a cryptic smile, hinting that its use will soon become clear. With their new prize secured, he declares they're returning to the bathhouse to trade with the mysterious merchant. Back in the familiar bathroom, Yang Fan calculates his remaining funds before facing the mysterious trader again. He confidently initiates the transaction, ready to invest in his new allies. He purchases evolution potions for the women and a handgun for Yue, deciding she needs to be self-sufficient. The purchase drains nearly all his crystals, a steep but necessary price for their immediate survival. Returning to the real world, he hands Yue the potions and a new handgun to even the odds. Yu questions his generosity, wondering why he'd give away such a valuable weapon. He just smirks, revealing the glowing artisan card as his own secret weapon. The chapter ends with a striking image of a dark-haired man holding a small, doll-like girl. Yu presses him for answers, completely baffled by the strange, glowing card he holds. With a menacing grin and glowing red eyes, he crushes the card, promising its power will soon be revealed. A torrent of blue energy surges through Yang Fan as he fully absorbs the card's power. He smirks at his glowing ring, embracing his new destiny as a master craftsman. Yu sees no outward change, but he cryptically promises to show her what true power looks like. With his axe in hand, he declares his plan to forge an unstoppable team and exact his revenge. He activates his new ability, summoning a holographic interface to begin reforging his weapon. The ordinary fire axe begins to melt and reshape, bending to his will. In a flash, the axe is transformed into a sleek longsword, leaving the women speechless at his skill. He prepares to upgrade his creation even further, intending to infuse it with a mutant's core. He brings the glowing energy crystal to the blade, channeling its power directly into the metal. The sword erupts with crackling energy, reborn as a powerful Tier 2 enchanted weapon. He proudly presents the enchanted sword, explaining its new paralyzing attribute to his impressed companions. Mumu eagerly asks if her scalpel can be upgraded, and he agrees to forge new weapons for both of them. He once again activates his craftsman ability, focusing his energy on reforging the small medical tool. In a flash of light, he successfully transforms the scalpel into a pair of deadly Tier 1 daggers. He hands over the new weapons, unfazed by Mumu's skepticism about his seemingly impossible forging skills. Yui turns her attention to the evolution potion, wondering aloud what new powers it might unlock for them. Yang Fan clarifies that these basic potions only enhance their existing talents, not grant entirely new ones. The biochemist in Mumu surfaces as she examines the potion, wishing she could study its mysterious composition. Setting her research aside for now, she consumes the potion, trusting it will give her an edge in the battles to come. A brilliant aura envelops both women as the potions take effect, marking their first step toward evolution. Mumu and Yue are amazed by their newfound strength, feeling the powerful effects of the evolution potions. With his team powered up, Yang Fan declares their next mission is to rescue his sister, Qing Shui. He finds a vehicle and quickly ushers the women inside, ready to navigate the chaotic streets. His mind is completely focused on one goal, reaching his sister before it's too late. The trio drives through the night, the tension palpable as they race against time. Yang Fan expertly maneuvers the car, leaving the pursuing creatures in the dust. They finally arrive at Qingju's dormitory, only to find it completely swarmed by the undead. Thinking fast, he uses the car as a barricade, strategically blocking the entrance to buy them some time. As they rush up the stairs, he shouts his sister's room number, leading the way through the chaos. They find the hallway littered with fallen creatures, and the door to her room ominously open, a clear sign of a struggle. They find her room completely trashed, and Yang Fan's heart sinks as he calls out her name. Yu examines the scene, grimly pointing out the clear evidence of a violent struggle. Yang Fan furiously denies the possibility that his sister has met a terrible fate. Just then, Mumu spots a crucial clue calling out that she's found Qing Shui's phone. A notification reveals she's only been gone for 15 minutes, giving Yang Fan a surge of hope as he orders them to split up. Meanwhile, in a nearby activity room, a group of thugs have cornered several female students, their intentions clear. One of the men singles out Qing Shui, who bravely warns him that her brother will make him pay. The thug just laughs off her threat, making a condescending offer to take her brother's place. He seems to enjoy her terrified pleas, finding her fear to be a source of amusement. Overcome with despair, Qing Shui cries, regretting she ever trusted strangers and ignored her brother's warning. Just as the situation turns dire, Yang Fan bursts through the door with a powerful kick. Qing Shui's face lights up with hope at the sight of her brother, while her captor is caught completely off guard. His expression twists into pure rage as he delivers a silent, deadly command to the man holding his sister. In a flash of crackling energy, he closes the distance and lands a devastating blow on the stunned thug. The remaining men are enraged by his audacity, foolishly underestimating the warrior they're now facing. He calmly draws his enchanted sword, reassuring his sister that no one who threatened her will be spared. With a single, fluid motion, he unleashes a powerful slash that cuts through two of his opponents simultaneously. The last remaining thug makes a desperate final lunge, aiming to end the fight with a knife from behind. In a stunning display of skill, Yang Fan throws his sword backward, neutralizing the final attacker with perfect accuracy. He turns with a confident smirk as Yue watches in awe, having single-handedly eliminated all the threats. The last thug stares in horror at the swift and permanent consequences of threatening Yang Fan's sister. He desperately begs for his life, but Yang Fan stands over him, his expression cold and unforgiving. Yu reminds him that in this new world, hesitation is a luxury no one can afford. With a single, precise slice of his sword, Yang Fan frees his sister from her restraints. Qingsu collapses into her brother's arms, overwhelmed with relief as he apologizes for not arriving sooner. The other rescued students offer their loyalty in exchange for protection, but Yang Fan immediately refuses. He bluntly tells them he has no time to carry dead weight in this brutal new reality. Yang Fan delivers a harsh lesson, warning that weakness will only lead to a grim fate. Mumu arrives just as the situation is resolved, asking if he was successful in his search. With a confident smile, he confirms his sister is safe and declares it's time for them to leave. The rejected students watch them leave, bitterly rationalizing his decision to abandon them. From a second-floor balcony, he assesses the horde below and volunteers to clear a path. With a determined look, he leaps into the fray, eager to harvest more crystal cores. He immediately neutralizes a creature with a powerful kick, showing off his experience. The battle is a blur of motion as he carves his way through the undead ranks. After clearing the area, he signals for the others to come down, earning his sister's admiration. While driving, their attention is drawn to a supermarket that's completely overrun with creatures. The reality of their situation sets in as Qingshui's stomach rumbles from hunger. Yang Fan decides they'll risk the danger, ordering a stop to raid the store for supplies. Mumu immediately formulates a plan, suggesting they use a less guarded delivery entrance to get inside. Yue takes the wheel with a confident grin, announcing their plan to use the back entrance. She slams on the brakes as a lone creature blocks their path to the delivery door. Yang Fan steps out, telling the others to follow his lead as he prepares to clear the way. He neutralizes the threat with a single, powerful backhand, sending it flying. With the path clear, the group slips quietly through the partially open delivery door. They find themselves in the supermarket's back room, which seems surprisingly empty. While Qingshui celebrates finding her favorite snacks, Yue suggests they use the safe spot to rest for the night. Mumu's analytical mind kicks in, finding the lack of creatures in such a populated area deeply suspicious. She points to the front windows, where a massive horde is gathered, seemingly drawn by an unseen force inside. Their investigation is cut short as Qingshui discovers a fresh blood stain, putting everyone on high alert. Qingshui connects the gruesome scene to the massive horde gathered outside the entrance. Mumu dips her finger into the pool, beginning her quick analysis of the situation. She confirms it's human blood, putting everyone on high alert for a hidden threat. Yang Fan takes command, telling the others to gather supplies while he investigates the front of the store. He discovers a large piece of raw meat deliberately placed to lure the undead to the windows. It's clear someone has turned the supermarket into a fortress, using the horde as a living shield. Mumu grimly admits it's a clever, if ruthless, way to secure the abundant supplies inside. Just then, Yue and Qingshui return, proudly showing off 2 backpacks filled to the brim. Yang Fan knows this isn't nearly enough, secretly wishing he could use his ring's storage function. His train of thought is broken as his senses flare, alerting him to a nearby presence. From a security room on the second floor, a man watches the group on a monitor, recognizing Yang Fan. His companion, Yang Fan's ex-girlfriend Cloud, quickly denies any connection and tries to appease the head bodyguard. She paints Yang Fan as a delusional man, mentioning his strange warnings about the apocalypse. The bodyguard questions her story, his grip tightening as he searches for the truth. Apparently satisfied with her answer, he makes a suggestive remark while another guard watches. Cloud seethes with resentment, blaming Yang Fan for her current situation as she spots Yue on the screen. The camera zooms in on Yue, whose handgun seems to possess an unusual faint glow. Cloud points out the unique weapon, capturing the bodyguard's immediate interest. She then suggests they capture all 3 women, appealing to the man's desires. The bodyguard rallies his men, revealing a personal grudge and vowing to get even with Yang Fan for an earlier incident. His sharp eyes catch a security camera, confirming they're not alone. He casually tells the women to rest, masking his discovery with a calm demeanor. Pulling Yue aside, he quietly reveals they're being watched and suggests they separate. He whispers a quick, strategic plan to her, ensuring their observers remain clueless. Walking through a messy aisle, he spots valuable supplies scattered on the floor. He remembers how priceless simple goods become after the apocalypse, seeing a golden opportunity. Knowing his ring's storage is limited, he resolves to upgrade it as soon as possible. He creates a loud diversion, smashing a water cooler to draw attention away from his real goal. With the coast clear, he raises his hand, activating the ring's hidden storage function. A golden light emanates from the ring, pulling all the nearby supplies into its pocket dimension. His diversion is immediately interrupted as a knife flies past his head, thrown by an enraged guard demanding to know where the supplies went. Yang Fan effortlessly catches the blade with a smirk, unimpressed by the accusation of theft. He turns to find the head bodyguard and his crew, recognizing the leader as a familiar face from his past. A bitter memory flashes through his mind of how this man, Wang Yilong, tormented him before the world ended. The bodyguard orders his men to attack, and they foolishly charge forward with their makeshift weapons. With a dismissive comment on their weakness, Yang Fan neutralizes two of the thugs in a single fluid motion. The remaining men are left completely stunned, unable to process his overwhelming speed and power. The bodyguard resorts to threats, warning that his other men are already on their way to capture the women. His threat is cut short as a defeated body suddenly thuds to the ground right in front of him. Yu appears with the other would-be attackers, confirming Yang Fan's prediction that they'd try to steal their bags. The bodyguard stares in disbelief, realizing his entire crew has been taken down. His bravado shatters as he kneels, desperately trying to blame someone else for his actions. But his fear quickly twists into a final, desperate surge of rage. He swings his bat with murderous intent, only for Yang Fan to effortlessly parry the blow. Yang Fan catches the weapon mid-swing, calmly activating his artisan ability. The metal bat warps around the man's hand, delivering a painful and permanent consequence. Pinned by his own weapon, the bodyguard can only scream in agony and disbelief. His last remaining henchman panics, calling Yang Fan a monster before trying to make a run for it. Wei watches the display, impressed by Yang Fan's creative and brutal use of his reforging skill. Facing his captors, the bodyguard tries one last time to save himself by selling out his accomplice. Yang Fan offers a chilling promise of release, his artisan ability still active on the man's weapon. But his mercy is a lie, as he uses the warped bat to deliver a permanent and brutal lesson. Yui watches the display of power, wondering when she'll be able to wield such incredible abilities herself. The last two henchmen immediately surrender, begging the overwhelmingly powerful warrior to spare them. Yua suggests showing mercy, questioning if they should let the defeated men go. Yang Fan coldly dismisses them, and the terrified thugs scramble away without a second thought. His attention then snaps to a hidden corner, calling out an unseen observer. He calls out his ex-girlfriend by her full name, revealing Cloud has been watching the entire time. Caught spying, Cloud panics and immediately flees into a nearby security room. Cornered and desperate, she vows to make Yang Fan pay, ready to take him down with her no matter the cost. In a final act of spite, Cloud activates the store's motion sensors, deciding to trap everyone inside. Her petty revenge unleashes the entire horde, which floods the supermarket through the now open main doors. Yang Fan's expression hardens with fury as he realizes his ex-girlfriend is behind the sudden chaos. He quickly formulates a plan, sending Yue to disable the sensors while he handles the immediate threat. His sister and Mumu run for their lives as the creatures pour into the aisles, calling out to him in a panic. Yang Fan orders Mumu to protect his sister, confidently charging into the swarm to hold them back. Mumu bravely stands her ground, brandishing her new dagger to shield a terrified Qingshui from the approaching monsters. Meanwhile, Yue races through the building, finally locating the control room where the sensors are managed. She's met with a furious shout from inside as Cloud prepares to confront her directly. The two women immediately clash, with Yue expertly blocking a surprise attack from a bat-wielding Cloud. Yue easily overpowers Cloud, noting how the evolution potion has significantly boosted her agility. Cloud is left bound and helpless on the floor, her plan having completely backfired. While Yue works to disable the sensors, she silences the captive Cloud, promising to deal with her treachery later. Downstairs, Qingshui panics as the horde jams the main doors, preventing their escape. Yang Fan calmly holds the line against the swarm, reassuring his sister with his overwhelming strength. Yu presents the captured traitor, but Cloud immediately switches tactics, playing the victim to gain Yang Fan's sympathy. Yo exposes her lies, but Cloud desperately tries to spin a new narrative, claiming she was trying to help them all along. Yang Fan approaches his ex-girlfriend, his expression unreadable as he questions her sudden change of heart. She attempts to use their past intimacy to manipulate him, but he remains completely unmoved by her act. With a cold glint in his eye, he puts her loyalty to the ultimate test, giving her a chilling and impossible command. He puts her loyalty to the test, shoving her toward the glass doors and the horde she unleashed. She is instantly overwhelmed by the swarm of creatures, her pleas for help lost in the chaos. With a decisive move, he seals the doors, leaving her to the grim fate she created for herself. He stands unfazed as her final furious threats are drowned out by the monsters on the other side of the glass. Qingshui expresses her relief, shaken by the encounter with the woman who tried to harm her brother. Ye admits the outcome was harsh but satisfying, confirming with Yang Fan that the traitor was indeed his ex. With the immediate threat handled, Qing Shui suggests they use the employee dorms to rest for the night. The group makes their way to the second-floor dormitories, securing a temporary safe haven. After cleaning up, the women reflect on the exhausting day, knowing the next will be even more challenging. Mumu notes an unexpected benefit of the evolution potion. Her eyesight has been perfectly restored. Yang Fan decides to take advantage of the quiet night, activating his ring's collection ability. With a single gesture, he magically pulls every last item from the shelves into his pocket dimension. He surveys the now empty aisles, satisfied with his massive haul of supplies. The next morning, a new trio of survivors cautiously approaches the supermarket, hoping for a score. They enter to find the store has been completely stripped clean, leaving them in disbelief. The men are furious at their bad luck, with one finding the spotless, empty shelves deeply unsettling. Their leader's attention is drawn to a staircase, a glimmer of hope for finding untouched goods. He quickly rallies his companions, pointing them toward the second floor as their last chance. As they climb, the leader shoves a nervous crewmate forward to scout for any potential threats. The reluctant point man reaches the top and slowly opens the door, bracing for whatever lies beyond. The scout freezes as a blade flashes past his face, a voice ordering him not to move. He finds himself at the mercy of Yang Fan, whose enchanted sword is pressed against his throat. The rest of the scavenging crew arrives, stunned by Yang Fan's speed and realizing the dorms are occupied. The commotion draws Yue out from a nearby room, surprising the intruders. She calmly assesses the situation, asking Yang Fan to identify the newcomers. The terrified scout begs Yue for help, insisting they were only looking for supplies. After a tense moment, Yang Fan slowly lowers his weapon, giving the men a chance to breathe. He dismisses the group, telling them to leave since the store has already been cleared out. But the leader's greed takes over as he points accusingly at the full bag Yue is carrying. The scavengers raise their weapons, their expressions making it clear they intend to take the supplies by force. One of the scavengers makes a move, but his partner swiftly disarms him with a sharp blow. Yu stands her ground, daring the men to try and take what's hers. The aggressive scavenger is left shaken, realizing a blade just barely missed his head. The leader quickly backpedals, grabbing his friend and claiming it was all a misunderstanding. As they retreat, the leader quietly tells his partner they'll just follow the group and wait for a better opportunity to strike. A third man steps forward, distancing himself from the others and offering information about a safe zone in exchange for cat food. Wei is completely baffled by his strange request, wondering why anyone would need cat food in an apocalypse. Suddenly, a different red-haired woman from another group dashes forward with surprising speed. Her companion quickly holds her back, warning her not to cause trouble or try to steal from Yang Fan's team. The friendly survivor reveals the reason for his request, showing them the small cat perched on his shoulder. He introduces his cat, Shishu, explaining her increased appetite is the reason for his desperate search. The other survivors are stunned to learn the store is empty, with the redhead realizing someone beat them to it. Qing Sui and Mumu emerge from the dorm, and Qing Sui is immediately captivated by the adorable feline. She eagerly asks to pet it, but Yang Fan steps in, warning that the animal has mutated and could be dangerous. The owner defensively insists his pet is harmless, refusing to believe it could be a monster. Qing Sui ignores the warning, still begging her brother to let her pet the cute creature, but he remains firm. In a defiant move, she snatches the cat from its owner, turning her back on her brother's orders. She cuddles the animal, reassuring it and dismissing her brother's concerns as foolish. Completely won over, she promises to share half of her snacks with her new furry friend. The man invites them to the safe zone, but Yue politely declines, explaining they have other plans. Qing Sui reluctantly says goodbye to the cat, handing it back to its grateful owner. Their departure is cut short by two men on a motorcycle speeding toward them, desperately screaming for help. The other survivors watch in shock as they realize what's chasing the motorcycle. A massive pack of undead dogs is hot on their trail, a terrifying new threat on the horizon. Yang Fan's group is furious as the men lead the horde right to them, while the riders plead for rescue. The two scavengers from earlier reappear, begging for their lives as Yang Fan tells them to find cover. The scavenger leader agrees with a sinister look, clearly plotting something devious. In a shocking betrayal, the scavenger grabs Qing Shui, intending to use her as bait for the approaching dogs. But his plan is instantly thwarted as a firm hand stops his arm mid-motion. Yang Fan glares at the man, revealing he saw through the scavenger's deceitful act from the start. The scavenger cries out as Yang Fan's grip tightens, effortlessly overpowering him. Meanwhile, his partner tries to steal supplies from the other survivors, sparking a chaotic struggle. The man's face contorts with fear as he realizes the gravity of the approaching threat. He frantically points out the pack of undead dogs, hoping to create a diversion. Taking advantage of the panic, he rips the bag away with a greedy smirk. The roar of an engine signals his swift and selfish escape from the scene. He speeds off on a motorcycle, mockingly waving goodbye to the group he's abandoned. With a cruel sneer, he thanks them for becoming the perfect bait for the pursuing horde. Back on the ground, the other scavenger desperately grabs Yang Fan, trying to use him as a human shield against a massive dog. Qing Shui watches in pure horror as the monstrous creature lunges forward, her scream lost in the chaos. Yang Fan's grip is unbreakable, leaving the scavenger powerless and panicked. With a powerful shove, he turns the man's betrayal against him, sending him flying into the path of the monstrous dog. He takes charge, ordering the others to safety while he prepares to face the entire undead pack alone. The red-haired survivor hands off her bag, her expression hardening with resolve. She steps up with a blade, determined to prove she's no longer someone who needs protecting. Yang Fan pulls her back from a reckless charge, explaining the deadly reality of fighting a coordinated pack. Their escape route arrives as a car barrels onto the scene, clearing a path through the canine horde. Mumu calls out from the safety of the vehicle, urging Yang Fan to hurry before they're overwhelmed. He and the red-haired woman make a desperate dash for the moving car as the dogs close in. The two race against the relentless pursuit, their escape hanging by a thread. Yang Fan identifies the pack's alpha, a massive Tier 2 mutant dog with glowing red eyes. He shoves the red-haired woman into the car, ordering her to get to safety with the others. With a final push, he sends the car on its way, turning to face the monstrous creature alone. As the car speeds off, he braces his enchanted sword against the dog's powerful lunge, holding the line. Inside the vehicle, Qing Shui and the redhead desperately want to turn back and help him fight. Mumu calmly restrains them, insisting they trust in Yang Fan's strength and stay out of his way. Back on the road, Yang Fan fearlessly charges the beast, ready for a direct confrontation. The creature's immense strength sends him sprawling, pinning him under its massive weight. Unintimidated, he stares down the snarling beast, a look of cold determination in his eyes. He grips his weapon tightly, confident that his enchanted Tier 2 blade will give him the edge he needs. With a single decisive slash, he splits the massive Tier 2 dog in two. He quickly retrieves a valuable white crystal from the fallen creature's remains. His victory is short-lived as the rest of the enraged pack closes in on him. He knows that the scent of blood will only attract more of them, making a full-on fight impossible. Just in time, the car screeches to a halt, having unexpectedly returned for him. The red-haired woman reaches out, offering him a last-second escape route. He takes her hand and she pulls him into the safety of the moving vehicle. He tumbles into the back seat, landing in a rather compromising position on top of her. The red-haired woman turns away, a faint blush betraying her otherwise tough exterior. With everyone safely inside, the car speeds off, leaving the relentless horde far behind. Yang Fan instructs the driver to perform some evasive maneuvers to lose their pursuers. The car swerves through the streets, but the relentless pack of undead dogs keeps pace. Inside, the blonde survivor notices a growing pool of blood on the back seat, her expression filled with alarm. Yang Fan coolly dismisses any concern for his own safety, certain that he's untouchable. His attention is then drawn to the red-haired woman, as Mumu points out she's the one who's been injured. The redhead grits her teeth, explaining that a previous injury was aggravated during the recent fight. The blonde woman expresses her shock at the severity of the wound, worried about the blood loss. Without a word, Yang Fan leans in to inspect the injury, startling the wounded woman. He carefully examines the gash on her hip, revealing the source of the bleeding. He calmly assesses the situation, confirming the wound has reopened and is bleeding profusely. Yang Fan internally kicks himself for not grabbing medical supplies from the mysterious trader when he had the chance. He instructs the blonde woman to apply pressure to the redhead's wound, trying to manage the crisis. The driver reveals that all drugstores are empty, but offers a better solution: a survivor base with actual doctors. The mention of doctors immediately changes their plans, and Young Fan agrees the base is their best bet. With a new destination locked in, the driver speeds toward the district's largest shopping mall. They finally pull up to an imposing modern building, which the driver confirms is the survivor stronghold. As Young Fan steps out of the car, he's hit with a strange sense of familiarity with the location. He recalls a dark memory of this place, remembering a kind doctor who met a tragic end in his past life. Fueled by his knowledge of the future, he resolves to rewrite history and save the doctor this time. The others help the injured redhead from the car as she insists she can walk, putting on a brave face. The cat owner guides them toward the survivor base's main entrance, pointing out the gate. He frantically pleads with the guards, explaining they have an injured companion who needs urgent help. The guards coldly refuse entry, citing a strict policy against admitting the wounded due to infection risk. The injured redhead insists it's a simple blade wound, while her friend tries to keep her from aggravating it. Just as one guard is about to send them away, his partner stops him, seeing an opportunity for profit. He reveals their price, demanding a steep entry fee of 100 crystals per person, but 1,000 for the injured woman. Yang Fan steps forward, offering a single rare white crystal worth more than enough to cover their passage. The guards are stunned by the payment, with one immediately regretting he didn't ask for double. With the deal made, the guards reluctantly lift the gate, granting them access to the stronghold. As the group passes, the guards reveal their sinister plan to ambush them, steal their crystals, and capture the women. Young Fan's sharp gaze reveals he's already aware of the guards' hostile intentions. One of the guards spots the reflection of a blade, urging his partner to act quickly. But a confident smirk from the cat owner shows he's more than ready for their ambush. He mocks their incompetence before swinging his own massive blade at the first guard. The guard is completely outmatched, receiving a decisive blow from the unexpected attack. As his partner falls, the second guard can only stare in shock at the sudden turn of events. Enraged by his friend's defeat, the remaining guard lunges forward, seeking vengeance. He manages to land a desperate strike, wounding the cat owner in the process. But before he can finish the job, the red-haired woman intervenes, neutralizing him from behind. She winces as the sudden movement aggravates her injury, earning a concerned look from Yang Fan. Yang Fan tasks his sister with retrieving his bag and looting the defeated guards for crystals. Xing Sui eagerly accepts the job, expertly searching the unconscious man for valuables. After successfully retrieving the bag, she returns it to her brother with a satisfied look. She presents her meager findings, disappointed by the small number of crystals the guards were carrying. The cat owner watches them, realizing their friendly appearance hides a ruthless nature and plots his escape. Yang Fan turns to the nervous man, his expression unreadable as he addresses him directly. From a balcony above, a new figure observes as Yang Fan dismisses the other survivors. The mysterious observer begins to applaud slowly, clearly impressed by the display of power. He descends the stairs with his entourage, introducing himself as the leader of this stronghold. Yang Fan gives his name, and the man, Mr. Bao, reveals he's the one in charge of the entire base. Mr. Bao recognizes Yang Fan's strength and immediately offers him a leadership position in his group. Yang Fan skillfully postpones the discussion, his priority clearly being the injured woman's well-being. The leader orders one of his men to escort them to the base's medical facility. As they walk away, Mr. Bao reveals his true intentions: recruit Yang Fan or dispose of him. Their guide leads them to a repurposed hair salon, claiming it's the infirmary. The group is immediately suspicious, wondering if they can trust a doctor operating out of such a strange location. With the redhead's condition worsening, they enter the salon and call out for medical help. A stern-looking man at a desk confirms he's the doctor and is ready to see the patient. Yang Fan realizes with relief that this isn't the doctor from his memories, meaning there's still time to find her. After a quick examination, the doctor lists the necessary treatments and demands an exorbitant fee of 5,000 crystals. The cat owner explodes with anger, calling the doctor a greedy opportunist for his outrageous price. The doctor scoffs at his complaint, telling them to leave and face the horde if they're unwilling to pay. Just then, a new voice from behind a curtain offers to help, catching the doctor completely off guard. Yang Fan's eyes widen in disbelief as he instantly recognizes the voice from his past life. A woman in a lab coat emerges, and he realizes it's the kind doctor from his memories, who has arrived at the base sooner than he expected. She immediately begins treating the redhead, noting the serious blood loss, while the other doctor demands to know what she's doing. He furiously reminds her how precious medical supplies are, questioning her decision to offer free treatment. She calmly invokes her duty to save lives, daring him to take his complaints to the base leader. Enraged by her defiance, the man lunges forward to assert his authority over her. But his hand is stopped midair as Yang Fan swiftly intervenes, grabbing his wrist. Yang Fan delivers a chilling warning, making it clear the kind doctor is now under his protection. The greedy doctor retreats with a final threat, vowing to report them to the base leader. With the man gone, the doctor asks for privacy to properly stitch up the redhead's wound. Yang Fan then stuns everyone with a bold and completely unexpected proposition for the kind doctor. His true motive is revealed. He's determined to repay a debt from his past life and save her from a grim fate. His companions are left speechless, completely baffled by his sudden romantic declaration. The doctor politely rebuffs his advance, understandably confused by the stranger's forwardness. Unfazed, he insists she stay with him, sparking a hint of jealousy from the patient on the bed. Losing her patience, she firmly orders him to leave so she can focus on her work. After some time, she emerges from behind the curtain, announcing that the patient is now stable. The women celebrate their friend's successful treatment, relieved the immediate danger has passed. Their relief is cut short as the greedy doctor returns with the base leader, accusing them of refusing to pay. Mr. Bao and his crew step forward, calmly demanding Yang Fan pay the steep price for the medical services. Yang Fan calls out the outrageous fee, arguing that 5,000 crystals for a simple wound is pure extortion. He then boldly accuses the base leader of colluding with the doctor to blackmail him. One of the leader's men loses his temper, pulling a gun and threatening Yang Fan for his insolence. Unfazed by the weapon, Yang Fan activates his artisan ability, ready to neutralize the threat. The gun instantly warps in the man's hand, a clear and silent warning from the powerful craftsman. Impressed by the display, Mr. Bao changes his tune, offering to waive the fee in exchange for Yang Fan's allegiance. But his offer comes with a hidden condition, his expression turning serious as he lays out his terms. Mr. Bao reveals his leverage: 2 superpowered enforcers, a geomancer and a pyromancer, ready to deliver a punishment. They launch a coordinated attack, sending a wave of earth and a massive fireball directly at the kind doctor. The doctor freezes in terror, completely defenseless against the incoming elemental assault. Yang Fan lunges forward, reaching out to pull her from the path of certain doom. He snatches her out of harm's way, just as the deadly combination of fire and earth erupts behind them. He lands with the doctor safely in his arms, having narrowly prevented her demise once again. The doctor sees him in a new light, realizing his strength is real, while he's shaken by her near-death experience. Knowing he's outnumbered by other superhumans, Yang Fan realizes a direct confrontation would be a losing battle. He strategically agrees to become the deputy leader, but only on the condition that the doctor remains unharmed. The base leader accepts the terms, intrigued and suspicious about what kind of power Yang Fan can offer. Yang Fan realizes the leader underestimates his artisan ability, seeing a perfect opportunity to exploit his ignorance. He pitches his skills, promising to forge powerful weapons and eventually equip the entire base with top-tier gear. He lays out his terms, requiring raw materials, but offering an irresistible 80% discount compared to other dealers. The leader's greed is piqued by the deal, and he agrees, even offering a rare evolution potion as a bonus for a successful first batch. With the agreement made, Mr. Bao orders one of his men to escort Yang Fan's group to their new quarters. While his sister is impressed, Mumu voices her suspicion, warning that the base leader seems untrustworthy. He agrees but explains they need the rest, revealing his secret plan to drain the base of its resources before they leave. Meanwhile, 2 guards are posted outside their room, confirming that their every move is being watched. Back in his office, the leader reveals his own scheme, to use Yang Fan's friends as leverage and enslave him as a personal forger. His female subordinate smiles, clearly impressed by her boss's vicious and calculating nature. A man in a suit leads the survivors to their new quarters, separating them from the main group. But another guard stops Yang Fan, revealing he's being taken elsewhere to begin forging immediately. Yang Fan sees right through the obvious ploy to separate him from his companions. His sister senses the danger and insists on going with him, but the guard stands in her way. The guard coldly denies her request, claiming the warehouse is off-limits to outsiders. Yang Fan calmly reassures his sister, promising a quick return before he's led away. His guide enters a security code, unlocking the heavy door to the base's hidden workshop. The 2 men step into a secure room, the heavy door sealing them inside. The guard reveals a locker overflowing with 5,000 gray crystals, his first batch of materials. He then delivers a chilling ultimatum: Succeed, or he and his friends will be fed to the horde. Yang Fan internally notes the sheer number of crystals, realizing the base must be heavily armed to have gathered so many. The guard points to a pile of scrap, offering him some useless souvenirs they've collected. The pile is revealed to be a collection of mutant bones and remains, which the guard dismissively offers up. But Yang Fan sees a treasure trove, realizing these rare materials are perfect for crafting powerful gear for his team. He dismisses the guard, telling the man he prefers to work alone and needs him to keep watch outside. The guard agrees but delivers a final threat, reminding him the room is a vault with no escape. Alone at last, he identifies priceless materials like a space crystal and mutant horn, confirming his captor's ignorance. He immediately plans to forge a storage necklace and upgrade his team's gear, plotting their eventual escape. With his plan set, he places his hand on the materials, channeling his powerful artisan energy. The workshop erupts in a storm of blue energy as he begins the forging process, bending the rare materials to his will. In a flash of inspiration, he forges an entire arsenal of level 1 gear, including armor, weapons, and a coveted space necklace. The massive undertaking leaves him drained, surrounded by the fruits of his labor on the workshop floor. Knowing he can't reveal his full hand, he uses his new storage ability to conceal the powerful equipment. He then absorbs a portion of the crystals, leaving just enough behind to keep his captors satisfied. Outside, the guards wait impatiently, one of them doubting Yang Fan's ability to craft anything from scrap. His partner is more certain, reminding him that Yang Fan's rare power makes him a valuable and now captive asset. The skeptical guard then makes a vile comment, revealing his disgusting intentions for the women in Yang Fan's group. Their conversation is cut short by a loud bang from the vault door, catching them completely off guard. The door swings open to reveal Yang Fan, who delivers a chilling promise of retribution if his friends are harmed. The guard's face twists with fury, shocked by the prisoner's audacity. The furious guard orders his partner to inspect the new weapons, threatening Yang Fan with dire consequences if they're not up to par. His partner is stunned by the quality, realizing Yang Fan crafted 10 valuable blades using only a fraction of the provided materials. Yang Fan cleverly downplays his ability, claiming he can only forge 10 weapons a day to manage their expectations. The guard tests the blade's durability with a powerful swing, confirming its solid construction. Impressed and unable to harm his valuable asset, the guard's thoughts turn to a new form of leverage, Yang Fan's sister. Having delivered on his promise, Yang Fan demands to be reunited with his companions. The guard complies, ordering a subordinate to escort their new master craftsman back to his group. Yang Fan follows his new guide down the corridor, one of his freshly forged blades in hand. He anticipates that the base leader will be so pleased with this first batch that he'll offer the evolution potion for more. The guide stops at a door, opening it to finally reunite Yang Fan with his friends. He walks in to find the women caught completely off guard in their private quarters. The redhead reacts with embarrassment, questioning why he entered without warning. Unfazed, he reveals the real reason for his visit, magically producing a pile of newly forged equipment. His sister's eyes light up with stars as she realizes the necklace is a powerful storage item. He places the priceless artifact directly into her waiting hands. Qingshui excitedly tries to activate her new treasure, eager to see what it can do. He explains its function, and she immediately declares her intention to fill its storage space with snacks. He then presents Mumu and Yue with their own custom gear, a powerful handgun and a pair of high-tech glasses. The two women are amazed by their gifts, realizing the infinite ammo pistol and analytical glasses are game changers. Just as he finishes gearing up his team, another survivor arrives, and Yang Fan greets him with a knowing smile. He hands a newly forged shield to the other survivor, who is stunned by the powerful defensive gear. Next, he presents the red-haired woman with a custom-made piece of level 1 body armor. She blushes at the revealing design but gratefully accepts the much-needed protection. Meanwhile, Mr. Bao inspects the first batch of weapons, questioning if they're truly as effective as they look. With a sudden move, he grabs one of the blades ready to test its strength firsthand. He brings the weapon down with a powerful swing, easily slicing through the solid metal table. Impressed by its sharpness, he orders his men to gather more crystals, eager to take advantage of the cheap price. The guard suggests they take Yang Fan's friends hostage, ensuring their new forger can never leave. Mr. Bao confidently dismisses the idea, certain his new asset is already trapped within the stronghold. The following morning, teams of survivors on motorcycles head out from the base on a supply run. Mr. Bao's men ride out, armed with Yang Fan's blades and dreaming of the day he can forge firearms for them. From a window above, Yang Fan watches the convoy of survivors depart from the base. He notes their heavy weaponry, realizing it's how they've gathered so many rare materials for him. With a confident smirk, he plans to put the resources they're collecting to very good use for his own team. His thoughts are interrupted by a knock as the cat owner announces he has a visitor. Opening the door, he's greeted by one of the base leader's female subordinates. She explains that a woman named Wu Mei, the boss's mistress, is waiting for him in the living room. He follows her into the suite, where another woman is lounging on the couch. The silver-haired woman introduces herself, revealing she has today's materials and wants to watch him work. Yang Fan cleverly deflects her request, claiming his powers haven't recovered enough to forge anything just yet. He internally smirks, realizing the base leader's ambition is playing right into his hands. The woman tries a different tactic, offering to wait in his room while secretly plotting to manipulate him for better gear. He swiftly stops her advance, announcing his plans to leave in the morning. Undeterred, she offers to accompany him, determined to break through his cold exterior. He pivots the conversation, asking if there are any traders operating within the stronghold. She confirms there is a dealer but warns him of the exorbitant entry fee of 3,000 crystals. Unconcerned by the price, he confidently declares that the base leader will cover his expenses. He then requests to be taken to the dealer, explaining he needs to acquire some medical supplies. She leads him down a hallway, where they're met by a squad of heavily armed guards blocking the way. She addresses the guards, announcing she's brought a new customer for the mysterious dealer hidden behind the door. He assesses the armed guards, realizing a direct confrontation is not an option. His interest is piqued by the mysterious Level 2 dealer, certain they hold valuable goods. He casually hands over the hefty 3,000 crystal entry fee without a second thought. The guard warns him he only has 5 minutes, but Yang Fan calmly accepts the strict terms. He steps into a high-tech trading space, ready to see what's on offer. Browsing the holographic menu, he quickly deduces that Mr. Bao has already cherry-picked the best items. He notices a high-stakes challenge that the base leader's men have already failed twice. He recalls how these rare challenge fields were fiercely fought over in his past life, seeing his chance to get ahead. Believing this is a rare opportunity, he decides to risk it all on the high-level challenge for a massive potential reward. With a look of sheer determination, he commits to the challenge, ready to face whatever comes next. He's instantly teleported into the challenge field, surrounded by a vortex of digital energy. He lands firmly on the ground, the crackling energy solidifying the virtual arena around him. The camera pulls back, revealing he's now standing alone in a vast, empty coliseum. He quickly calculates that time flows slower here, giving him a crucial advantage to complete the trial. A heavy armored foot slams down, signaling the arrival of a formidable opponent. He finds himself facing a monstrous, cybernetically enhanced bear that towers over him. Unfazed, he summons his enchanted blade, deciding the best defense is a swift offense. Their first clash sends a shockwave through the arena, and he's immediately taken aback by the creature's raw power. His confidence wavers as he identifies the gem on its head, realizing he's up against a powerful level 3 monster. The bear's next attack sends him flying, making it clear he severely underestimated his opponent. The monstrous bear lunges through a wall of fire, roaring with unrestrained fury. He admits the beast outclasses him in every way, but resolves to find its hidden weakness. As the creature swings, he spots a vulnerable point, a potential chink in its cybernetic armor. He commits to a desperate counterattack, aiming his blade at the newly discovered weak spot. His enchanted blade strikes true, sending a paralyzing shock through the creature's body. He realizes his level 2 weapon only managed to slow the powerful beast, not stop it. But a momentary advantage is all he needs, and he prepares to exploit the opening. He leaps into the air, delivering a decisive strike directly to the creature's head. Landing with a flourish, he watches as his opponent stumbles back from the critical blow. The massive bear crashes to the ground as a mysterious observer finds the unexpected victory fascinating. His victory is cut short as he senses an unseen presence, demanding to know who's watching him. A system notification confirms his success, rewarding him with a massive power-up to his artisan ability. He breathes a sigh of relief, knowing the life-threatening gamble paid off handsomely. Outside the challenge room, the guards prepare to forcibly remove him as his time runs out. But he emerges just in the nick of time, calmly telling them their services won't be needed. The guards immediately surround him, ready to search him for any goods he might have acquired. He pulls rank, reminding them of his new position as deputy leader and daring them to cross him. The guard reveals the base's true colors, explaining they take a cut of everything purchased from the dealer. The silver-haired woman tries to de-escalate, but her warning about his friends only enrages Yang Fan further. He cleverly lies, claiming he bought nothing since the dealer didn't have the medicine he needed. The guard scoffs, convinced that everyone who leaves the dealer's room is a liar. He makes a foolish bet, promising his own head if they can't find anything on Yang Fan. Yang Fan accepts the challenge with a smirk, holding the man to his ridiculous wager. The leader orders a thorough search, determined to prove Yang Fan is hiding something. But the search comes up completely empty, leaving the guards baffled by the result. The guard's face contorts with disbelief, unable to accept that he was wrong. In a flash, Yang Fan disarms one of the guards, turning the tables in an instant. He delivers a swift and decisive consequence, ending the confrontation before it can escalate. Standing over the fallen guard, Yang Fan calmly declares that he's come to collect on their bet. He then turns to the stunned silver-haired woman, coolly asking if she wants to challenge him next. She nervously backs down, realizing she's completely outmatched. Her fear quickly turns to flirtation as she praises his power, but he warns her not to threaten him again. As he turns to leave, she desperately calls out, wanting to become his companion. She grabs his arm, trying to leverage her help to get a glimpse of his forging process. He shoves her aside, coldly dismissing her as another man's mistress. Her face hardens with rage, and she silently vows to make him her personal slave one day. Elsewhere, the doctor is amazed to find the redhead's wound has almost completely healed overnight. The redhead explains her accelerated healing is a perk of being an evolver, much to the doctor's fascination. Meanwhile, the rest of the group grows anxious, wondering why Yang Fan hasn't returned yet. Yu calmly points out their more immediate problem. They're prisoners with only a day's worth of supplies left. The cat owner justifies his hunger, explaining he's been rationing food out of fear. Just then, Yang Fan returns, calmly telling the group their food problems are over. His friends are overjoyed by his sudden and welcome appearance. He activates his ring, magically producing a massive pile of food and supplies. Qingsui is ecstatic at the sight of so many snacks, as Yang Fan claims they were a reward for his forging work. The cat owner is emotionally overwhelmed, finally getting a proper meal as Yue realizes she was overthinking their situation. With their immediate needs met, Yang Fan asks his friend to stand guard while he tests out a new material he acquired. The man happily agrees between bites, promising to keep watch over the room. Qingsui shares her snacks with the cat, while the owner decides to bring food to their other companions. Alone in his room, Yang Fan reflects on the 9 levels of his artisan profession, preparing to test his new power-up. He remembers a legendary artisan from his past, whose power was so great, they built an impenetrable fortress. With newfound determination, he vows to reach that same legendary status in this lifetime. His recent power-up allows him to add special functions to weapons using even the most common materials. He pulls out a rare mutated crystal he salvaged, ready to test the limits of his upgraded ability. Channeling his energy, he attempts to fuse the crystal with his sword, hoping to create a weapon beyond level 2. The reforging process completes, leaving him with a newly transformed crimson-hued blade. He examines the sword with concern, initially believing the fusion failed to grant it any new powers. But his doubts are shattered as the blade suddenly erupts in a massive, uncontrolled burst of fire. The flames settle, revealing a peerless, fiery weapon he recognizes as a priceless artifact from his previous life. Elsewhere, Mr. Bao discusses his long-term strategy, acknowledging that his forces will soon depend entirely on blades for survival. One of Mr. Bao's men questions the wisdom of giving away a valuable level 2 evolution potion. The leader reveals his treacherous plan to cheat Yang Fan out of his reward by declaring the final blade a failure. 7 days later, a pile of freshly forged blades confirms Yang Fan has been hard at work fulfilling his end of the deal. Nearing his goal, he uses the last of the materials to craft a special set of silk armor for himself. With his work done, he decides it's time to visit the mysterious dealer again, wondering what new treasures await. He confidently approaches the heavily guarded room where the dealer operates. The guards, who once threatened him, now snap to attention and salute their new deputy leader. Despite his new rank, the guard still demands the steep 3,000 crystal entry fee. Yang Fan pays without hesitation, privately planning his escape as soon as he gets the promised potion. He steps into the dealer's mystical domain, ready to begin another high-stakes transaction. He scans the dealer's inventory, unimpressed by the low-tier items on display. Trusting his luck, he activates his ring, hoping to pull a rare item from the system. A single golden card flashes across the screen, moving far faster than the others. His eyes widen as he recognizes the item, a legendary artifact from his past life. He's acquired a Sage card, an incredibly rare item capable of turning the tide of any battle. He immediately knows this card is the key to convincing the kind doctor to join his team. With a new sense of purpose, he resolves to find someone from his past and change their fate. As he exits, the silver-haired woman is waiting, claiming she's been searching for him. Back in their quarters, the women are startled by a knock, wondering why Yang Fan has returned so soon. Qingxu opens the door, her expression turning to shock as she finds an unexpected and unwelcome visitor. Qingxu is stunned to find the base's geomancer at their door, who makes a sinister claim over her. He orders his men to restrain the women, revealing his disgusting plan to take advantage of them. As the men advance, one of them recognizes the redhead and vows to avenge a fallen comrade. The redhead pulls out her custom handgun, warning them that Yang Fan will not forgive any harm done to his people. Unimpressed, one of the intruders pulls his own gun, mocking her attempt to intimidate them. The geomancer confidently boasts that his rock-hard skin makes him completely immune to bullets. She puts his theory to the test, firing a shot that strikes him directly in the chest. His hardened skin cracks under the impact, and his eyes glow red with fury as he realizes he's been hurt. He snarls, understanding that Yang Fan secretly armed his friends with powerful level 2 weapons. With a furious roar, the enraged geomancer lunges toward the redhead to retaliate. He moves with surprising speed, knocking the gun from the redhead's hand and mocking her weakness. He rallies his men, offering a reward to whoever captures the women, and they begin to overwhelm the redhead. The rest of the group stands their ground, but a thrown object signals the start of the chaotic struggle. Mumu realizes her analytical glasses can see through their opponent's weaknesses, giving them a fighting chance. Yue bravely intercepts an attacker, skillfully blocking his blade with her own. Taking charge, Yue orders Qingxu and the cat owner to run and get Yang Fan's help. But their escape is cut short as an intruder grabs Yue, while another restrains Qingxu. Qingxu desperately struggles against her captor, her pleas for freedom ignored. Seeing his friends in danger, the cat owner's friendly demeanor vanishes, replaced by a cold, protective fury. He unleashes his secret weapon, ordering his mutated cat to launch a surprise attack on the unsuspecting goon. The mutated cat lunges forward, delivering a swift strike to the captor's face. Mumu tries to de-escalate the situation as the cat owner wrestles with the injured man. The geomancer gains control, holding the redhead and Yue hostage with a menacing threat. Mumu and the cat owner watch in horror, realizing their friends are now at the geomancer's mercy. The remaining intruders take advantage of the distraction, restraining Mumu and the cat owner from behind. The enraged man who was attacked gets to his feet, ready to retaliate against the small feline. He reconsiders attacking the creature, deciding to deal with the mutated cat later. The geomancer holds up the captured level 2 handgun, ordering his men to take the prisoners away. Elsewhere, Yang Fan stops abruptly as the silver-haired woman asks him what's wrong. She casually informs him that the geomancer and his men have just paid a visit to his dorm. Yang Fan's eyes narrow as he realizes the geomancer's visit is no friendly call. The silver-haired woman smugly confirms they're there to capture his friends and that he's next on their list. She grabs his hand as he moves to leave, warning him that he's too outnumbered to win this fight. Seeing an opportunity, she offers to help him in exchange for the valuable evolution potion. He angrily shoves her aside, making it clear he won't be blackmailed. As he walks away, she delivers a final, chilling warning that he'll regret his choice. He spots a group of Mr. Bao's men rushing toward him, confirming the entire base is now hostile. He puts the pieces together, realizing his friends have already been taken captive. A dark memory surfaces of being imprisoned in the very same dungeon in his past life. Fueled by past and present betrayals, he vows to make the base leader pay for everything. Mr. Bao's men patrol the heavily guarded dungeon where they've imprisoned Yang Fan's friends. From the shadows, Yang Fan carefully observes the guards, plotting his infiltration. Deciding it's time for an upgrade, he summons the special silk armor he recently forged. He merges the powerful artifact with his body, preparing for the inevitable confrontation. A golden aura surrounds him as the armor settles, giving him a new look of power and resolve. Meanwhile, the captured women are forcefully thrown into a cold, dark prison cell. Bound and helpless, the redhead refuses to give up, insisting they find a way to escape. Mumu activates her analytical glasses, spotting a critical weakness in their restraints. She reveals a hidden shard, offering the redhead a tool to easily cut through the worn ropes. The others are impressed by Mumu's quick thinking, their hope for escape suddenly reignited. The cat owner quietly instructs his pet to chew through his restraints. The redhead scoots closer to Yue, preparing to use the hidden shard. With careful precision, she begins sawing through her friend's bonds. A sudden glint of light from the cell catches the attention of a passing guard. The guard bursts in to investigate, catching the prisoners in the middle of their escape attempt. Furious at their defiance, the guard delivers a harsh blow to one of the women. The newly freed redhead leaps to her friend's defense, intercepting the attacker with a swift counter. At the same time, the mutated cat successfully gnaws through its owner's ropes, setting him free. The cat owner, enraged by the guard's actions, tackles the man with unexpected ferocity. Their brief victory is cut short as another guard arrives, leveling a gun at the cat owner's head. The guard retaliates against the cat owner, delivering a harsh blow for his defiance. In a flash of fury, the mutated cat launches itself at the guard to protect its master. The small feline's menacing hiss gives the guard a moment of fearful pause. His partner demands the weapon, wanting to take control of the escalating situation. But the gunman ignores him, deciding to eliminate the surprisingly fierce cat first. The cat owner shields his pet with his own body, taking the full force of the gunshot. With his initial plan thwarted, the guard coldly prepares to finish the job. An unseen object suddenly soars through the air, heading directly for the gunman. The projectile connects with a stunning impact, knocking the guard off balance. Enraged and disoriented, he demands to know who intervened, unaware of the new arrival just out of frame. Yangfan appears in the doorway, his fiery blade announcing his dramatic entrance. His eyes glow with cold fury as he promises to settle the score with them right now. The guards surround him, and their leader gives the order to open fire. His captured friends desperately plead for him to escape and leave them behind. He stands completely still as the guards unleash a hail of bullets directly at him. His enchanted sword effortlessly deflects the incoming projectiles with its fiery aura. With a confident smirk, he dismisses their attack and slices the bullets clean in half. The guards continue to fire relentlessly, their expressions a mix of desperation and shock. He spins his blade in a dazzling arc, creating an impenetrable shield of fire and steel. One of the guards stares in horror, realizing their weapons are completely useless against him. He unleashes a devastating swing, his fiery blade cutting through the air. In a single fiery arc, he neutralizes all the guards in front of him. His friends watch in stunned silence, finally witnessing the true extent of his power. The last surviving guard makes a desperate move, taking Qingshui hostage at gunpoint. He threatens to end her life, forcing Yangfan into a tense standoff. But Yue refuses to be a bystander, launching a surprise kick to disarm the captor. Her bold move frees Qingshui, sending the guard sprawling to the floor. From the ground, the enraged guard raises his weapon for one final desperate shot. Yangfan moves in a blur, his blade swiftly disarming the man before he can pull the trigger. Standing over his defeated foe, he makes it clear that there will be no second chances. He ends the final guard's defiance with a single fiery strike. The cat owner rallies the group, announcing their alliance with the base is officially over. But Yangfan's sharp gaze detects a new presence blocking their path to freedom. The base leader himself arrives with his entourage, making it clear no one is leaving. Mr. Bao feigns disappointment, accusing Yangfan of betrayal as his men demand vengeance. Yangfan's team immediately forms a defensive line, ready to fight for their protector. The leader makes a manipulative offer, promising to forgive everything if Yangfan sacrifices one of his friends. Yangfan calmly agrees with the assessment, acknowledging his team is outmatched and outgunned. The redhead immediately volunteers, willing to sacrifice herself to repay him for saving her life. The cat owner steps forward next, offering himself up out of guilt for leading them into this trap. The kind doctor steps forward, arguing she's the newest and most logical sacrifice. Yangfan cuts them off, sarcastically appreciating the offer while his fiery blade burns brighter. Mumu's analytical glasses find a structural weakness, and she quickly points out their escape route. With a new plan in mind, Yangfan grips his sword, ready to create their own exit. He declares he'll never abandon his team and unleashes a powerful, fiery swing at the wall. His blade smashes into the concrete, creating a massive explosion that shatters their prison. As a new exit opens to the outside, he urges his friends to make a run for it. The doctor is moved by his loyalty, realizing he truly came back for her as they flee. Enraged by their escape, the base leader orders his men to open fire without mercy. Yangfan stays behind to cover their retreat, activating a powerful energy shield to block the incoming bullets. The Geomancer joins the fight, launching a powerful earth-based attack against Yangfan's shield. The cat owner cries out in alarm, terrified that Yangfan is being overwhelmed by the new threat. But Yangfan easily dodges the assault, moving with incredible speed to close the distance. The Geomancer unleashes his special ability, sending a barrage of sharp rock blades erupting from the ground. The fiery projectiles shoot up from the floor, aimed directly at the lone defender. With a look of intense focus, Yangfan prepares to counter with his own fiery blade. He meets the attack head-on, his sword's fiery arc shattering the rock blades with ease. Seizing the opening, he leaps forward to deliver a decisive blow to his opponent. His enchanted blade slices through the Geomancer's hardened skin, drawing a cry of pain. The Geomancer stumbles back in shock, unable to believe his signature defensive power has been so easily broken. He unleashes a final, fiery strike, leaving the Geomancer defeated on the floor. Yangfan lands with a decisive flourish, his flaming sword signaling the end of the fight. He spots the custom handgun, noting the Geomancer's greed was his ultimate downfall. His sister appears at the edge of the newly created exit, calling for him to hurry. The redhead reaches down, offering him a hand to help him climb out of the dungeon. Enraged by the loss of his enforcer, Mr. Bao orders his men to take Yang Fan down at all costs. The cat owner bravely shields their escape route, his energy barrier absorbing a volley of bullets. Yang Fan urges his friend to escape first, preparing to hold off the remaining forces alone. The women pull the cat owner to safety, who admits the powerful shield is draining his energy fast. Realizing their guns are useless, one of the leader's men escalates the fight by pulling out a rocket launcher. The redhead screams a warning as the rocket hurtles toward Yang Fan, erupting in a massive explosion. The blast obliterates the ground where he stood, but he's already moved clear of the impact zone. Using the rubble as a foothold, he launches himself up the crumbling wall to escape the dungeon. He soars through the air, sword in hand, making a swift and decisive exit. Landing with a powerful impact, he successfully rejoins his friends on the surface. His sister praises his dramatic escape, noting the blocked passage will delay their pursuers. He calmly returns the custom handgun to the redhead, having retrieved it during the chaos. She's touched by his thoughtfulness, realizing he remembered her weapon even under fire. Their brief respite is cut short as another massive explosion blows their escape route wide open. The base leader emerges from the smoke, transformed into a monstrous beast and vowing none of them will leave alive. The redhead bravely steps up, aiming her pistol at the monster while urging her friends to escape. She unloads a clip, but the bullets ricochet harmlessly off the beast's impenetrable skin. The transformed leader scoffs, completely unimpressed by her futile attack. He boasts about his level 2 beast form before leaping forward to crush her. But Yang Fan intercepts the charge, his fiery blade ready to meet the monster head-on. Their clash creates a massive shockwave as Yang Fan's sword meets the beast's energized claws. Yang Fan warns his team to retreat, realizing this new form is far more powerful than a regular superhuman. Their escape is complicated as a horde of zombies, drawn by the noise, begins to swarm the area. The beast roars in fury, enraged that the undead are interrupting his personal vendetta. He unleashes a devastating wave of energy, instantly vaporizing the entire zombie horde around him. Yang Fan creates a protective energy shield, ordering his friends to take cover behind him. His team watches in awe as the monstrous leader's overwhelming power radiates across the battlefield. The cat owner spots a potential getaway vehicle, and Mumu immediately sprints towards it. Yang Fan bravely decides to stay behind, buying his friends the crucial time they need to escape. The beast scoffs at his defiance, revealing a cruel plan to permanently disable Yang Fan and enslave him. Green energy crackles around the monster's hands and feet as he channels his power for a devastating attack. He adds a vile threat against the women, hoping to break Yang Fan's will before the fight even begins. The monstrous leader unleashes a massive beam of destructive energy directly at his target. He then leaps into the air for a follow-up attack, vowing to make Yang Fan suffer as the artisan prepares to counter.